All right, here we are back at it. This is going to be another Stormgate cast, and I am Algorithmor, and this is going to be a game featuring ROFL again in the blue Vanguard, and it's also going to have the People's Champ in the red Infernal. The People's Champ is actually an alt account of my friend Dutchy, who streams on Twitch. He's going to be the opponent of ROFL in this game. And so we've seen ROFL in his Vanguard versus Celestial, which there were two really interesting matches there, actually. And now we're going to see how he performs versus the Infernal. And of course, this map is Broken Crown. Personally, it's my favorite map. I think there's some really good games on this map. I have to say that it's my favorite map, both as a player and as a caster. I think lots of good engagements. But it's also one of the smaller maps and one of the faster rush distances, so that definitely impacts the kind of games that we see on this map. So we'll see what we get here. From my buddy Dutchy, we've got a vault opening and vault into Shrine. I do know that Dutchy is strong against strong in this matchup, and part of the reason is he plays both of these factions, and so he knows the matchup from both sides. And I think when you know the matchup from both sides, you kind of know what you lose to, and that helps you strategize when you're playing the other faction. So I do know this is probably his favorite matchup as well from both sides. So we'll see how he does against ROFL. Now remember, ROFL is one of the strongest Vanguards on the ladder. So he's out there taking MMR from all kinds of folks. So we'll see if that's the outcome here or not, or maybe if Dutch is able to take him out. Ooh, that's kind of a rough couple shots from the Shadow Mastiffs on that scout, but good micro to keep the scout alive, at least for now. Oh no, yeah, okay. But what do we see here? We see Fiends. I did not see this. Now, they all have the debuff still. Actually, they just ended with the debuff. And that looks like that's an overcharge on the Bobs. And now there's a Lancer chasing these Fiends around. So, those Fiends... Now, was that from... I think that might have been from a Hexen opening. Oh, we had a Vault opening. Sorry. Like, where did all those Fiends come from? Oh, I like this! Oh, I love that kind of harass. I think that's a much better harass than Bob harass. Because, one, Bobs are invincible. And two, if you can get on that before they can get the repair, you can knock out a supply. And, let's see, that did not actually put ROFL into supply block. Oh, actually, his supply was rapidly rebuilt. So, I don't think he was supply block there. But I still think hitting supply is a great way to harass in this game, especially against Vanguard. And now we got a little bit of combat here around the speed camp, and it's promoted Lancers, so this is a fairly punishing opening against Infernals. It's around the 4-minute mark. You can end up with 4 or 5 promoted Lancers with kinetic redirect. That's what we're seeing here. And if you're unprepared for this, this can straight up wreck an Infernal. In fact, I've been the victim of it a few times. One of my more recent ones was against KR Bob, and he just sort of walked in here and then it was GG. But right now, we've actually got a defense happening, but is he going to be able to hold? Actually, these Lancers did kind of get right by. You usually want to have... Oh, nice Magmadon timing. This is one way to deal with this. And now these Lancers are in here, but they are on top of Imps. There's a pretty good split there from Dutchy. And, oh no, the Hexen is going to go down. And the Lancers kind of split themselves, so a lot of the army chased one Lancer, while the rest of the Lancers are trying to get damage done. And there's another couple Lancers down here. Few Imps go down there. And where are those other Lancers? They're running around. They're doing the ring around the rosy. And these Lancers are going to rush out while these other Lancers are on top of the Imps again. The Magmadon's trying to clean them up. These Lancers just want to get as many kills as they can. It's so hard to see here if they're killing Felhogs or Imps, but I'm going to guess that a handful of those were Imps. Let's do a quick Imp count here. We're at 10 and 5, and down here we're at 10, so it's not bad. We're at the 5-minute mark. Both of these certainly could be saturated. So that does look like a number of Imps went down. So, successful-ish push, but these Lancers get caught by the Meg again and get hit with more prep. Oh, the weak one's running away. I love the control by ROFL there. And we get a Manifest Shroud down. I think that might have been a little bit too far forward. We get some split brutes to try and body block. Oh, very good control here. I like that. Chasing these Lancers down and trying to prevent them from doing more damage to that economy. So of course, Fiend's not great at actually fighting the Lancers. I mean, they're all right DPS, but they're just so weak against them that they were mostly there for body blocking and zoning, and I really like the control. So far, so good from Dutchy. Managing, managing to hold. I wouldn't say that was a strong defense. He did take damage there. But he also punished by cleaning up a lot of those Lancers. Part of that strategy, at least that I've seen, for instance, when it's run by KR Bob, is you kind of want to preserve those Lancers if you can get away with them after doing some damage, and then show up again, a couple of minutes later with the same Lancers all promoted and some Exos in tow, something like that, maybe a couple of Medtechs, and now you've got a pretty punishing second push as well. So if you do manage to hold and clean up those Lancers, that kind of resets the Vanguard army and means you got a little payback for any damage that might have been dealt. And it looks like maybe Dutchy is thinking to do some pressure or a push of his own here. A single Fiend trying to scout it out first. In fact, scouts out that flat cannon as he gets exploded. And oh, I like this kind of classic Magmadon backdoor bust. Here we go. And we're just going to march on in. Now, it's easy to get overextended here. We go straight to the Bobs. I assume that's a Plague Axe, yeah. So we do have some Fiends popping out. And, oh yeah, doing alright to clear out the sentry post, although, that sentry post does get up. And just retreating. And that might, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely conservative. Actually, this army does kind of look pretty punishing. There are a good number of Exos here. And they would have just wiped that Magmadon. And yeah, after that, the rest of that army is going to get chewed up by this army. So probably wise for Dutchy to move back there. And Dutchy is also up onto his third here. While we also have ROFL on his third and has been for a while. Which is kind of bad news for Dutchy because you do kind of want to be ahead of the economy curve. Ahead of your Vanguard opponent if you're an Infernal player. And that's partly because you do have to sacrifice imps for a lot of your buildings. That means you need a little bit more imp production than they need Bob production to stay on the same number of miners. Alright, got a drop shift. We got mass drop here. Good old-fashioned Doom drop. This guy, Dennis. Dennis is like, I want to drop too. Sorry, Dennis, you must go home. And here he is, sadly going home, but this Lancer's gonna give him something to do. And here we are, Doom drop right on top of the Bobs, and Mag there. Look at that, lots of Bobs going down right away. This is a pretty good attack here. Oh, this base is going down. This base is gone. Okay. Doom drop moving straight on into the main. Wow, really nice pressure here. What's going on here? Oh no, it's a base race. The Vulcans decide we're going to just smash down the back door as well, and we're going to come in here. Now the Vulcan, wow, gets lashed in, but runs back, has a nanoswarm on it. So We have Dutchy trying to defend here, but the Weavers, I don't think they're going to be enough. We're going to get a teleport here. Oh, we got all the dropships teleport back. They doom drop back down again, but there's only like half the army here. I think it might have been cleaned out by some reinforcements back in ROFL's base. They're trying to deal with this, but I think having to fight this army in 2 halves was really not good for an Infernal, and that is going to be a GG well played out of Dutchy.